They said assisting people was honorable. They said that it would pay you back, that karma would repay you, the universe would acknowledge your generosity, and that people would love you for it. They said that being there for them would make you irreplaceable. They lied. Because if you listen closely, actually closely, you'll notice a harsh pattern. The more you assist people, the more they will expect it. The more they will expect it, the more they will hate you for the authority it provides you with. And the more you continue to give, the quicker they will forget all that you provided. Machiavelli never stated that niceness was wicked. He told me that it was risky if unguarded, because aid to the wrong individual at the wrong moment in the wrong manner makes you a servant instead of a master. No man who aspires to power can afford to be a servant. This is the first law of strategic selfishness. Unpaid debt breeds resentment, not loyalty. The more you do for a person without announcing that they should repay you, without announcing your worth, the quicker they will convince themselves that you were doing what you were supposed to do. They'll rewrite history. They'll minimize your effort. They'll diminish you to prevent themselves from feeling beneath the person who held them up. And the most lethal thing, they won't tell you that to your face. Rather, they'll start canceling on you more frequently, speaking of you to others as if you're attempting too hard, and interpreting your generosity as a means of manipulating them. Because when a person is unable to pay you back, they have two options: recognize their debt and lift you up in their head, or lower you in their head to safeguard their ego. Most individuals opt for the second, because it's simpler to say you're too nice than to confess they are taking advantage of you. Machiavelli noted this quite a number of times in politics. A prince who liberates a city isn't often loved. He's detested. Why? Because now the people are in his debt, and human beings resent owing, even if the debt had saved their lives. The same rule holds for your relationships. You believe you're assisting, but actually you're providing them with a psychological justification to betray you in the future. It's not because they cannot. It's not because you are their sole hope, and it's not because they actually care for you. They ask because you have conditioned them to. Each time you interrupt whatever you're doing to respond to their issue, you're signaling, my time is yours, my calm is secondary to your turmoil, I will take the load, just keep bringing it. And once you've sent that message long enough, people no longer view you as a human being. They begin to view you as a function, an instrument, a lifeline, a backup, a counselor, a crutch. This is not respect, this is reliance. And reliance without return is not a relationship. It's extraction. You are giving, they are taking, and you're referring to it as connection. Machiavelli cautioned against this emotional deception. He thought that the man who continues to save others will get drowned with them, because weak individuals don't emerge when you pull them out of water. They go down further knowing you'll plunge in after them. You've been conditioned since childhood that to help is right, that good guys help, that true friends appear. But that is a script written by those who desired access to your labor, not your growth. You were not instructed to assist strategically. You were instructed to assist habitually. And so every time you say no, you feel like a villain. You feel cold, selfish, far away. But here's the Machiavellian truth. If assisting others at the expense of your power, your peace, or your path, it's not assistance. It's self-betrayal, and a man who betrays himself will eventually feel betrayed by everyone else because he gave too much, because he thought they'd repay him, because he confused gratitude with loyalty. But loyalty is earned not by giving more, but by giving less to the right people at the right moment when it strengthens your position. That's not selfish, that's strategy. You feel you're being a good friend, a good partner, a good person. But with every time you say yes when you should say no, you're paying in ways that you can't even recognize. First, it kills your time discipline. You continue to put out other people's fires, and then your house catches on fire. You postpone your goals, you stop your work, you lose momentum. Not only do people steal your time, they steal your path. And more than that, you begin to construct your self-worth on being the responsible one. Second, it creates secret disdain. You say to yourself, I'm doing this out of love, but secretly, you're quietly accumulating anger. You begin to anticipate something in return, appreciation, a favor, simply basic respect. And when you don't receive it, you feel exploited, but you can't complain because you volunteered. So you keep it inside and act like everything's okay, until one day you blow and they call you dramatic. Third, it draws the weak and pushes away the strong. Strong people don't require to be rescued. They respect borders. They revere autonomy. They seek equals, not enablers. But weaklings, they catch a whiff of your habit of giving, and they run to you. The more you help randomly, the stronger the magnet you become for problem people. People who will never grow up. People who need to be saved more than they need to develop. Machiavelli would tell you, if you're renowned for being the world's crutch, don't be surprised if you're never seen standing tall. It is not about being callous. It is about being discerning. Strategic selfishness is about helping only those who have won your interest. Giving is only when it supports your interests or values. Investing is only in individuals who deliver strength, not tails. Because here's the secret. The man who assists fewer but wiser is more admired than the man who assists all and is left drained. So stop bleeding for individuals who wouldn't even provide a band-aid. Stop watering individuals who like being parched. Stop demonstrating your value in sacrifice. Your time is an empire, and empires aren't constructed on favors. They're constructed on power, with clarity and merciless priority. The age of niceness is over. The age of strategic selfishness has begun, and those who learn it, they never have to beg for power. They become it. A man must select his currency. If you spend in approval, you'll be poor forever. If you spend in strategic power, you'll never have to beg. Machiavelli knew that usefulness is not the same as respect, and kindness is not the same as being untouchable. The moment you make helping other people your brand, you give them the capacity to determine your value and to take it away from you the moment you fail to serve their interests. That is why strategic selfishness is not cruelty. It is power holding itself in reserve, conserving your energy. The realization that in a world where demands are never-ending, no is not only self-respect, it's a weapon. When you finally refuse to help everyone, particularly those who have become reliant on you, they start to guilt-trip you. They don't say, "Why did you stop?" They say, "What happened to you?" As if to grow stronger is a betrayal. As if independence means you've somehow changed for the worse. They'll tell you things such as, "You were always so nice. You've changed a lot recently. You're thinking you're superior to everyone now." Naturally, they'll make it sound like worry, but it's fear because your detachment undermines their comfort. Your growth means they must either grow themselves or lose you, and they don't want to do either. Machiavelli understood that power separates, that when you discontinue serving people's emotional needs, they will call you arrogant, not because you're wrong, but because they no longer have access to use you. Strategic selfishness is a threat to the whole system of people who profit from your sacrifice. They must have you nice. They must have you guilty. They must have you available. That's how they get by. The largest lie you've been told is this: if I serve enough, they will never want to lose me. Not true. If you serve without leverage, without strategy, without expectation, you become a tool, and tools gain utility, not loyalty. They are used until no longer necessary, then they're discarded. You believe you're constructing invincible relationships, but what you're really constructing is condition dependence, and the conditions are determined by them, not you. You'll find yourself hearing someday, "I didn't ask you to do all that. You always do that. It's just how you are. You're overreacting. I thought we were friends." These are the words others use to get out of paying emotional debt, to not have to pay back what you invested freely. And once they perceive you as replaceable, who will always be there regardless of circumstances, then they stop appreciating you. Remember, the guy who assists all gets owned by everybody. The guy who assists on his own terms gets pursued by those who understand how valuable his energy is. Each time you say no, you're constructing a boundary. Each time you take your time in responding, you're affirming hierarchy. Each time you leave, rather than rescue, you're communicating, "My energy is costly, earn it." Machiavelli would concur. Influence is not provided, it is learned. You train others to treat you not by what you accept, but by what you reject. The fool helps on instinct. The strategist helps on strategy. This is not to say you become heartless. It is to say you cost-analyze the request, weigh the gain, inspect the trend, and only then determine if this help makes you stronger or just them. Because each act of service that drains you to build someone else up is a loss. Each favor that gains you nothing is an extraction on your worth. Each yes you say simply to be liked is a loss of altitude, and the higher you climb, the more oxygen you'll need to maintain. End the waste of your breath on people who will choke you with thanks they never really intend. Before you assist anyone a second time, use Machiavelli's mental filter system, the intent filter first. Why do they want something? Are they wanting help? Or are they outsourcing obligation? Are they really stuck? Or do they have a dependence on your attention? Do they come to you because they value your wisdom? Or because they know you will not say no? They ask people often not because they need to, but because they do not want to confront themselves. And so long as you keep intervening, they never have to. Second, the filter of reciprocity. Will he remember or resent this? Has he ever given back your energy in the past, or simply taken it? Does he stand with you or fade away when it's not about him? A favor needs to be a transaction, not emotionally, but psychologically. If a man does not pay your assistance back with respect, loyalty, or elevation, then what you have given was not a gift. It was a liability. Third, the trajectory filter. Does this propel you ahead? Is assisting this individual your mission? Does it broaden your sphere of influence, enhance your reputation, or increase your network? Or does it pull you sideways into drama, emotional disorientation, or stalling? Assisting someone should not be at the expense of your forward momentum. If so, you're trading legacy for the veneer of virtue. You are not bound to be a savior for those who prefer to suffer. You are not in charge of their evolution. You are not forced to water down your fire in order to warm them up. Machiavelli would teach, help the useful, the dangerous, the strategic, never the bottomless. Because there are individuals in this life who do not desire healing. They desire a witness for their turmoil, and you've been volunteering to be the witness that might make them love you. But in their head, you're not a hero. You're just around, and around men don't rise. They rot. The strongest word in the power language is no, not maybe, not let me check, not I'd like to try. Just no, no excuse, no sorry, no emotional maintenance, because each time you're explaining your no, you're leaving room for negotiation. Each time you're weakening your no, you're creating doubt in their mind, and each time you regret your no, they'll know it and try again. The word no isn't rejection. It is self-ownership. It says to the world, I am not free. I am not yours. My time is not for sale, unless it serves my empire. The foolish man dreads employing this word. The powerful man makes it a guiding philosophy. So from today on, cease to rescue individuals from issues that they themselves have created. Cease from appearing where your presence is anticipated, but not welcome. Cease to water down your sharpness for those who are afraid of sharpness. And most importantly, cease to assist individuals who would never construct an empire with you, because if they are not able to help you ascend, then assisting them in falling more slowly is not mercy, it's suicide. You don't have to be everybody's rock. You must be your own center of gravity, because the world doesn't pay the kindest man in the room. It pays the most guarded, the most calculated, the most unavailable man in the room. And when he talks, they listen because they know he doesn't waste his words or his assistance. The illusion of helping everyone is romantic, but it is a performance only the weak expect and the strong refuse to maintain. Every time you show up for someone without question, without condition, without calculation, you carve another piece off your soul and give it away for applause that fades the moment you're no longer convenient. Machiavelli would never promote cruelty, but he would caution, the man who does too much becomes nothing more than an asset, not a king, not a leader, not an enigma, just a battery to be drained. It's time to shatter the fallacy that being helpful makes you necessary, that being accessible makes you adored, that being liberal makes you indelible. It doesn't. It makes you disposable. Here's the one thing they'll never say. Most guys don't believe a man who gives too much because they can sense it. He needs something. Not always money, not favors, but validation, belonging, admiration, approval. And the moment someone feels that you're contributing in order to feel liked, the control changes. You're the one asking, not deciding. You're the one giving, not choosing. They don't look at you as being powerful anymore. They look at you as hungry, and hungry is dangerous. Hungry is predictable. Hungry is expendable. Hungry is weak. Machiavelli understood that when a prince dispenses gifts too lavishly, his people depend, not attach, and dependence is volatile. The moment your gifts cease, the tone changes. Flattery becomes distrust. Thanks turn into entitlement. And before long, they're saying, "Why is he not contributing anymore? What is the matter with him? Is he getting arrogant?" No, you're getting dangerous, because you're no longer playing their game. And now they're trying to redefine you, because the man who stops giving becomes more difficult to manage. When you begin to become strategically selfish, the labels start. They tell you, you've changed. You're not the same as you were. You've become distant. You think you're better than us. What they're actually complaining about is, you became difficult. You stopped saying yes. You stopped responding right away. You stopped taking care of things that never were your job, and now they are revealed to their own habits, their own powerlessness, their own complacency, because your presence used to make their mediocrity more comfortable. Now your absence makes it inescapable. They want to pull you back, not to cherish the past, but to feel less isolated now. Machiavelli penned the way that humans oppose the ones who come up, not directly, but psychologically through emotional manipulation, through passive aggression, through presenting your progress as betrayal. But power entails disloyalty to whom you once were. The selfish you is not malevolent. He's effective. He's vigilant. He's on his way up, and everyone who profited from your mess will want to make you feel guilty for cleaning up the mess. You've watched it happen. The guy who's always around, the one who hears everybody's troubles, the one who gives up his schedule, his energy, his sanity, so that other people will feel good. What becomes of him? He's the last one to get invited, the last one to receive praise, the last one to be remembered when actual decisions are made. Because while he was investing in relationships, other people were investing in status. While he was juggling emotions, they were juggling influence. While he was serving, they were ascending. And when he finally pauses and takes stock, he realizes something Machiavelli understood from the start. The man who is always giving is never in control, because power is not derived from usefulness. Power is derived from being necessary, but off limits. Power is derived from mystery, from distance, from perceived limitedness. The ever-present man is never mighty, because humans only fear losing something they cannot foresee or replace. You need to help, then begin helping yourself remain less accessible. That is where might starts. So, are you going to stop helping completely? No, you are going to help like an armed king, and not a bleeding servant. Here's how. First, make assistance a transaction, rather than a donation, even when it's emotional assistance, wisdom, or time. Make it cost them something. Not money, but effort, loyalty, discretion, exclusivity. If they didn't earn your presence, they won't appreciate it. If they didn't have to fight to get you, they won't fight to keep you. Help withholdingly, not wastefully. Make them feel the burden of receiving it. Second, never assist the same manner twice. If someone needed you once, no big deal. If they're consistently needing you for the same thing, cut them off. You're not their second brain. You're not their emotional trash can. You're not their plan B. Machiavelli would refer to repeat favors as weakening rituals. They get people used to depending on others, and you becoming disposable. Do it once, then ghost them. Make them have to do it the second time on their own. Third, assist only those who rise with you. If they are not creating something, developing something, defending something, why are you investing in them? Assist individuals with momentum, because when they climb, They pull you along, but assist someone who is stuck, and all you'll receive is pulled back down. Never assist for reasons of nostalgia. Assist for alignment. Sometimes the best thing you can do for somebody is to no longer be available, to withdraw your shield, to disappear without warning, to make them become the version of themselves they were constantly trying to avoid. Because when you are always present, they never do. And when they ultimately confront their own fall on their own, they rise or they don't. Either way, you maintained your authority. This is Machiavelli's deeper wisdom. Mercy needs to be cold, kindness needs to be elected, aid needs to be infused with expense. Because if you rescue someone too soon, you don't just slow their growth, you become their ceiling. So stop helping for people to like you. Stop helping for people to feel useful. Stop helping as a means of keeping them near. Let them fly or fall by themselves. Because your empire cannot be founded on emotional favors. It has to be founded on selective loyalty, on respect purchased through distance, on strength that serves itself first so it can't be commandeered by the weak. The man who stops doing things carelessly doesn't lose people, he loses leeches, and that is the foundation of unstoppable power. The biggest lie that society peddles to powerful men is this: you owe the world your energy, you owe nobody, not your time, not your assistance, not your emotional capacity, and certainly not your strength, particularly to those who would never give you theirs. Machiavelli never taught cruelty for cruelty's sake. He taught calculation, and as far as assisting others is concerned, that calculation will have to be cold, transparent, and completely selfish, because the fellow who assists everybody will ultimately have nobody assisting him. Humans are not always attempting to bond, they are attempting to tap into something greater than themselves, to offload their nervousness, their errors, their emotional disorganization onto you. They don't desire clarity, they crave relief, and if you provide it to them without expecting effort in exchange, you are a public charger, used by all, appreciated by none. They'll tell you, you're the only one I can speak with. You always know how to solve things. Thank God I have you. But let yourself ask, where are they when you're exhausted? Where are they when you require silence? Where are they when the load is on your shoulders? Vanished, or worse, bewildered, why you're not around. You did them a favor once, so now they feel they own you for good. That's what Machiavelli would refer to as emotional taxation, an unseen fee that accumulates over time. The more you give undisciplined, the more people think you are a resource and not a force, and no empire is created by being a resource. Detachment is harshly beautiful. It lays bare everybody's true character. When you quit helping indiscriminately, people will show you their true colors. Some will vanish, some will rage, some will attempt to guilt you back into place. But none of these responses indicate that you're wrong. They indicate that you were convenient. They were never with you due to who you are. They were with you due to what you were offering. And as soon as that flow is cut off, they panic, not because they miss you, but because they miss the advantages. This is the test, and most men fail it. They feel guilty, they cave, they become helpful again, in order to keep the peace. But Machiavelli would tell you that peace is not the absence of war, it is the presence of control, and assisting people endlessly takes away your control. You're not maintaining peace, you're being maintained. Here's what most men don't know. By helping everyone, you invite dependence, but by helping selectively, you invite allies. Strong individuals do not wish to be helped. They wish to be honed, they wish to be honed. They wish to grow along with someone who maintains boundaries. They wish to know that if you decide to help them, it is because they worked for it, and not because you are insecure or emotionally dependent. Your selfishness serves as a filter. Your selfishness repels the needy. It perplexes the entitled, but it attracts the elite because only robust minds can cope with being told, no, not now. That's your job. And those are the minds with which one wants to build. So when folks tell you you've changed, grin, they're correct. You've become someone they can no longer exploit. That's the entire point. It is not merely a change of attitude, it's a complete recircuiting of how you think. You have to recode your brain to perceive help, not as an act of kindness, but as currency, something to trade, bank, and use against them. Here's how. First, make your assistance rare by default. Cease to offer assistance gratuitously. Stop volunteering ahead of time. Have people wonder whether they can rely on you. Scarcity boosts perceived value. It builds mystique. It gets you silence, not admiration.